Men's metabolic health. What the hell is it and why does it matter? Coming up on the Reunion Hub. Hey, were you liking that intro? I kind of worked on that just a little bit. Thank you so much for being here. I am Spencer Mark, and I'm here to chat with you about metabolic health and why that matters and digging into what the hell is that? We always like to hear I had a metabolism when I was young, and now I'm not young anymore. Now I'm just bound and determined to be fat and out of shape, and that's a young person's thing, having a metabolism. So I really want to get into that more about what is it and how we can continue to work on it. And I want to share a little bit of my own stories and my own journeys of getting to a point to where I finally got my metabolic health in order, having to step through all of the confusion and the mishaps and people telling you what to do and all the podcasts and all that different type of stuff. Again, this podcast here, the Reunion Hub, is getting you back to yourself, your inner nature, to reconnect to your inner wisdom, to get back your health and your vitality. And I'm here to share that with you. Okay. So again, it's important that we understand that we get to our 40s and we're getting to the second half of our life. And it's, you realize you have that come to who moment when you realize you're not just going to fall ass backwards into health. I'm healthy now. Yeah. It's going to be, you have to be intentional with it. Wouldn't it be so great if we could just coast to health? But honestly, it is a uphill climb. But when we keep climbing uphill, it's going to make a hell of a view, right? So this is absolutely my passion. It's like this constant puzzle that I've been putting together for years. And you are helping me complete that by listening, by tuning in and letting me know like what your journey is like. I want to learn from you too. Like I am not sitting up here as an expert, though I consider myself loving this stuff so much that I could be, but it doesn't mean I know everything. It means that I'm wanting to learn more, and I want to learn more about you. And I can't really learn unless you contribute. So again, let's get into it. Okay, let's just start it. Like what exactly is a metabolism? Very simply, a metabolism is the process occurring converting food and other nutrients into energy for your cells so you can live. It's really that easy. So this is part of my other career as well, as I work with people on the daily basis, helping them kind of come out of diabetes and overweight, pre-diabetes, and get to a spot to where they can get their metabolic health in order, meaning that the food that they take in gets converted into good energy for the body so the body can rebuild cells and ward off disease, inside the body. So there's a lot of ways we get them to do that through diet, through exercise, through stress reduction, through good sleep. It's really a holistic lifestyle that we're trying to incorporate with people. And this is again, my passion. So I'm so passionate about this, but actually this is a PG show. I really should get too passionate here in front of you all, but it's just about really, I want you to really build a practical understanding of the food that you take in makes you up. It's your makeup. It's the building blocks of who you are. And you could either take in food that is going to is going to keep your body calm. It's going to make your body feel safe to where you feel like your body feels like it can utilize everything it can in order to grow it, to build those healthy cells, to put good healthy fuel inside of your body. Or you get into a situation to where you're eating the processed foods, and we'll get into that a little bit, of where it's really raising your blood sugar really sky high. And then we get in a situation to where we're overloaded with insulin and you become insulin resistant. And then the metabolic health starts spinning out of control. Essentially, what we want to do is we want to take in good food that's allowing your body to live in a state of calm and safety. And instead of getting into these foods that are really helping us feel, making your body feel like it's under attack, like it's in a war zone. But I'm going to go in a little bit further about beyond what the physical really is here too. So again, we talked about taking in food. That's the physical side of things, and really helping your cells. But I really want to take it a little bit step further, and I want to look into the relational, environmental, and metabolism that you have, and understanding that a metabolism is more than just the food too. It's really about what you're taking in your environment. It's the mental and emotional side of things as well. We can just take in a broader view. More than food, we metabolize emotions, relationships, stress, the environmental influences. This is definitely a huge part of it. So just think about like the job that's like nagging you 24/7, and you don't have any room or any space for yourself in that situation. That you can metabolize that, and that has an impact, serious impact on your energy. Um, your relationships. Are you in a relationship that actually gives you something back, or is it something that's pulling on you, that's taking you out of it? That has a definite effect on your energy. So I think that and on top of these environmental influences, where you're living, plays a big factor too. I mean, are you these people that are like living it up, and they have like no problem sitting in their hammock, maybe have a little coffee bar on the beach, stuff like that. That's their environment. That's the way they're metabolizing life. So it really matters, because if you're there versus you're in the highlands of Scotland and no one around, and the winters are harsh, I mean, it's going to be a little bit different for you. So you got to really find your place. So don't be afraid to move to a place where it's going to really help you out. But I think when we talk about all of this, we're really talking about a deeper connection to your purpose. So when we're talking about you metabolizing all these different factors, like where is your purpose in all of this? How well are you processing your life and your emotions directly, your energy, your clarity, your mental health? So, I mean, some quick examples. I mean, God, quick examples. I got so many examples of past toxic relationships and environments that were not supportive. It didn't make me feel safe. And one in particular, let me just like go back in my little Rolodex and go back to one. Oh yeah, there was one that it was a very hostile environment, to where there was like no peace inside of my life, and I had to run away from a lot of that sort of stuff. And running away from things, when you run away from something that is harming you, I was running towards things that were kind of hurting me, to where I would have to numb. So I was running away from stress and running into something that would numb myself. Whether that was drugs, that was like overeating, and those types of things. And then those type of environments, those things I were doing, would bring people that would surround me to support that type of habit too. So it really begins to pull you down when you start metabolizing, your environment. You start metabolizing and understanding and processing all the dangers that were surrounding me at that time. And then you start to notice that on the physical body. You start really eating. I was eating a lot for stress. I was eating a lot for running away. When you're eating a lot, you're feeling really heavy. I was feeling tons heavy. I was like upwards of around 265 pounds, and didn't know what I wanted to do. As far as food goes, I would sit down, I'd feel lethargic, I'd watch more TV. My God, I mean, I could go back into different parts of my life, and 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 just pick apart like all the parts where I just didn't feel like doing nothing. I felt like I felt like I had like all the time in the world, and that I could sit down, I could binge watch. And this was before Netflix. I was just watching the same movie over and over. Uh, and basically, I got into numbing myself so much that I didn't really care about really anything else. I didn't care about work. I didn't care about a job. Man, and just so. paying attention to your environment, paying attention to the people that are in your life. What are they feeding you? Are they feeding you full of good things? Are they, you know, what are your habits like in that environment? Okay, what are your emotions like? Are those emotions really feeding you and feeding your best self? All right. So pausing enough, we want to get to a place where we can actually pay attention to what's happening with ourselves moving forward. So I'm rambling. I could just be rambling here, but I want to go on. Just let you know here the common pain points that I deal with on a daily with a lot of guys is like this. Number one thing is I ask them, it's like, well, what's bugging you the most? And it's like this: I am tired of being tired. I am out of energy. I don't have any energy to play around with my kids or see my grandkids run around. Well, I can watch my kids run around, but I'm not getting down there with them. It's this lack of energy. And again, when we go back to the top of this segment or the session here, we're talking about how metabolism is taking in the food and how well the body translates that and transfers that into energy that you can use by creating new and healthy cells for you. So a common pain point right now is that lack of energy, chronic fatigue, the difficulty losing the belly fat. That's another big one with guys. The spare tire. You get these big ham hocks on the back of on your back, or maybe the neck. I mean, on the back of the neck, and you start to like hunch over. That could be a thing here too. I mean, I was getting like that hunch. My butt was getting flat from sitting on it all the time. Mood swings. This was a huge one for me too. Is like everything. I was very reactive because I was very irritated. I was very stressed, or what's the word? Inflamed. Like my mind was inflamed. My blood was boiling, inflamed all the time. So I was irritable. I was on edge. So mood swings have a big part. Metabolic health has a big part in your mood swings, your irritability, your ability to handle stress, to be resilient. And then, of course, libido. It definitely plays an impact on your libido, your vitality, how you feel, the energy you have to give back to life, and your susceptibility to receive something good coming back to you too. So then, of course, you get into, if that continues, you get the risk of chronic diseases. You get, the diabetes, cardiovascular issues, to where things got to start getting hacked off of you. You lose your eyesight. You get tingling sensations in your arms and your limbs. I mean, that stuff gets scary when we get to a point in our midlife, because we realize we're on the decline, and the fact if we're not doing anything makes the decline happen much faster. So, my God, now I actually got to reflect a little bit on my personal journey here in a bit, but I could tell you all about it and why it matters for men over 40. When we hit this point in midlife, there's a lot of psychological changes that are happening with this here too, because the kids are growing up, they're out of the house. We hit this point in midlife to where we're like, is this the career that I want? So your career begins to change, and then we feel like, oh my God, I've not lived. I better go and buy a Lexus. This is the midlife crisis type thing. And I didn't really buy a Lexus, and I didn't have the money to buy a Lexus. And growing up in Salmon, no one bought a Lexus, but the guys probably bought like maybe a 6-inch lift for their truck, and probably a 4-inch diesel exhaust on the back. Anyway, I don't want to pick on Salmon. Anyway, but there's things that happen in your own physical life that you're just, okay, I have to be a different person now. This person, maybe carved an identity around being a parent, and that's no longer apparent. Then there's the physiological changes that happen. You're definitely losing more muscle. You get the hormonal shifts. Testosterone starts to wane. It goes down, which of course helps or hurts your sleep and your ability to get rest. And so it hurts your ability to recover, which brings on more inflammation inside of the body, more stress. And then there's that increased insulin resistance. And basically, insulin is the hormone that accompanies sugar and other nutrients to knock on the cells and say, hey, would you like some of this sugar? Would you like some of this sugar? And sometimes when the tissues, when we become insulin resistant, the tissues are like, no thanks, you're always knocking on the door wanting to put sugar in me. I'm done. I'm done answering the door. So then insulin basically doesn't know what to do with sugars. Like, hey, how about you go and hang out in the liver? How about you go hang out around the heart? And that's when all that excess sugar starts turning into that visceral fat. That fat that hangs around the organs. And that is the biggest indicator of metabolic disease, is when you start developing not just the subcutaneous fat that you feel on your body, it's inside your organs. So I usually held a lot of it inside of my chest. I had a nice pair of moobs. Um, I really didn't like them. Honestly, they weren't nice. I'm not being nice to myself. Anyway, um, you need to take proactive care of yourself, because if you're not proactive about your care at this stage, you and I both know is that your health declines rapidly. It is not getting better by not doing anything. So caring for yourself is absolutely a priority in your life, because no one else is coming to save you. It is up to you. This is the next wave of medical treatment here too. We can't give ourselves over to doctors. We just really can't. This is a for-profit medical system that makes money on you being sick. So why would there be any interest in making you well, so you never have to go to the hospital again? So keep that in mind, is that there is this society's coming for you in its food, in its overwork, in its stress. Like it's coming to get you. um so in knowing that, if we feel like we don't have any power, for ourselves, it's going to deeply affect your mental clarity. It's going to affect your state of well-being, basically your sense of your own purpose. You feel like, well, why bother? The food I eat is just making me fat. The job I hate is at least giving me some kind of health care to where I can go in and get another prescription drug. What can I do? That has a big time bearing on your emotions, on your stress, on your resilience. And waking up stressed constantly is difficult. You're dealing with these stress hormones of cortisol. You're dealing with inflammation. You're dealing with, adrenaline. Your heart's beating faster. You get more beats per minute happening to you. So it rapidly accelerates your aging process too. The mood swings up and down happens. I mean, it hurts your friends. It hurts your connection with your family. All those things. So it's the importance cannot be understated of you taking your own health into your own hands, and developing a practice to where it really moves the needle forward for you. We're always going to be on the decline. Obviously, we always hit an inevitable death. But how do you want to decline? Do you want to gradually decline for a long time to where you're sick for the longest time till the end of your life? Or do you want to perform at a high level until you get to the end of life, and then it's just, we're done? For me, I want that curve. I would like, here's your like your level of health on the X, and on the Y we have our length in years. I want to try to keep my health as high as possible till the end of my life, and I want to drop off rapidly. I don't feel like I want to hit 40 and then just dwindle, 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 dwindle into where I can't walk when I'm, 60, and I can't really carry groceries up the stairs and those things. So moving forward here is what the show is about, what my work is about, and what I want to know about is like what matters for you with your health and your well-being. And then we put together a personalized plan on how we get your health to the highest maximum level for the longest amount of time. It's been a very interesting 6 months for me. Of the past 14 years, before actually the beginning of this year, I was a vegan for 14 years. Whew, 14 years. I was living in Tokyo at the time, and I watched this video about the effects of and how people were having success cutting food out of their diet. I'm a food, basically food, but cutting meat out of their diet, all dairy products, all animal products out of the diet. And I started to think when I was watching this show, it's like, hey, this, this makes sense. And all these people that are going undergoing these transformations and people are losing weight. When I really ever seen a really big overweight vegetarian? In my mind, I'm thinking, no. And I thought, what a great idea. Let's try it out. I'm so sick of being so fat, so overweight. And I'm in my 30s there, man. I'm in early 30s. And I thought, well, let's give it a try. And I quit on, it was like Thanksgiving Day in 2000, it was 2010. Yeah. That's when I tell people I quit cold turkey on Thanksgiving anyway. Uh, so through the years, you just take it one bit at a time, and I've seen weight come off at first, and I'm feeling a little bit better, I think, and then this just gets stretched out into, it got stretched out into like an identity. I was really watching all the documentaries, watching all the videos, and losing a lot of friends, social events. You really stand out when you're a vegan, and I was really standing out. It's like, well, should we invite him over? Like, I don't know what's vegan. I don't know what to make you. But I really was ignoring a lot of my own body signals because I was stuck in more of an ideology rather than listening to my own biology. And um, I lost a little bit of weight, but then I soon started gaining a lot of weight here too. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? I'm a vegan. If it's anything that says vegan on it, that must mean it's healthy, right? So like I was eating a lot of prepackaged meals, prepackaged meats, the frozen chicken nuggets, anything that said vegan, and I thought stupidly that it was safe, that it was healthy, because they had no animal products in it. Um, and nothing could be further from the truth, because instead of having, animal products in it, the companies would pump all kinds of other man-made chemicals into the food to make it try to taste and like meat or have the texture of meat. So I'm eating a ton of other chemicals with that too. And then I started gaining even more weight. And then I thought, well, maybe I have a gluten intolerance. And then I started cutting out gluten, had a little bit of help with all that. So, and then eventually my stress started coming up through the roof. It was irritable. I definitely had the belly. I had everything was holding up here in the chest. I could not stop eating. Everything I was eating, I was not getting full. Um, and the thing is that I wasn't really feeling nourished. My body just kept telling me, keep eating, and I wasn't really listening to anything else but that one signal, just keep eating. Uh, and then over some time, it was like a while ago, just at the beginning of the year, I was eating everything really plant-based. I was getting all my protein sources from beans and rice and tofu and tempeh and all of these different things. And then I started wearing a continuous glucose monitor to find out that I was pre-diabetic. And over all these years, even though I looked like I was in pretty good shape when I really started to keep my calories under control, but yeah, I saw I was pre-diabetic, so I had to I had to change everything up. I had to let go of the attachment. I had to make that kind of a tough decision to have animal products again. And I've not looked back, because this is how I grew up. I grew up hunting, fishing. My mom worked for the fishing game. I mean, we got elk tags and we ate elk and deer, and my heritage is Scandinavian. I mean, we eat meat. We're Vikings up there, Um, so again, I just really had to make a decision on, look, what's good for my biology, rather than an ideology. So uh, I could go in for a long time talking about the mistakes I made in the plant-based lifestyle, but I'm in a place now to where I'm feeling healthier than I ever been. I've lost a lot of weight that I didn't want anymore. My visceral fat is down. My blood pressure is way down. My stress is better. I have less brain fog. I've just listening to my diet. listen to my body more. So everything is more metabolically focused. I have a good fitness routine that I'm doing for myself. I'm working on my sleep, my my stress reduction. All this plays a factor in my metabolism. So I'm consistently playing around with that. I'm a geek about this stuff. So I want to find out who out there is a geek for their health as well. So once you really start, I mean, once you really start to have a little bit of success, it can build, and that's what's exciting. So I haven't really, I haven't kept up with these tickers, and that was my own personal journey and mistakes. I had lots of those. Again, I'll get better with this banner stuff. So, getting into what's really happening here, the standard American diet or the SAD diet. I mean, really, so much irony. Um, the SAD diet, the standard American diet, basically, you just got to understand that, look, the food out there, it's not really trying to kill you. What it's trying to do, the food companies out there, it's a for profit food business. So, they make money when you buy the food. So why not make the food as addicting as possible so you keep buying the food and their profits go up? It just so happens that's not really good for your health. It's not good for your mental well-being. It's not good for your emotions. It's not good for a healthy metabolism. Okay, so there's this whole kind of theory too between calories in, calories out. And again, that is the law of thermodynamics. But the thing is, with these foods that are in the standard American diet, with the processed foods, it's a different type of calorie. They are really blocking the there's a chain of, and I'm missing the term, but there's a way that your body, like, it takes in this energy and spends it. I think it's called the electron transport chain. Basically, these calories that we're taking in from processed food really disrupt that process to where we might be eating, let's just say if you ate 1,500 calories of McDonald's. The thing is, like, that you won't be able to keep that up because your body's still feeling like it still needs to feed. It's missing some nutrients. And when eventually you do come off of it, the body's gonna work on gaining even more weight. So you're gonna be overeating because you're just so undernourished. Simply put, the calories that are out there in the standard American diet are not nourishing. They're just not nourishing. They're calories out there to make you buy more food. So if it comes in a package, if it comes in a bag, if you find it in the middle of the aisles of the grocery store, pretty much that's a processed food. So you want to find stuff around in the outsides of the aisles, and rarely do I ever walk down the middle of the grocery store unless, my partner and I like to go down the aisles and go, oh my God, look what they're doing now. They put chocolate over chocolate covered French fries. It's just kind of interesting, kind of like walking through like a museum, a food museum / circus. So uh, it's created a definite urgency to where it's an epidemic of overweight people, of people that are suffering from diabetes, and diabetes is going to take years, decades off of your life. Um, so there's tons of alarming statistics, more than I can go into right now. I mean, but I mean, I could spout off all kinds of stats if I need to look them up, and then I could tell you about it. But we don't. I mean, essentially, heart disease is the number one killer in the world. Heart disease, and then you're looking at cancer, and those are symptoms of a metabolic disease inside your body. So, um, so again, getting back to what the future looks like for you is you need to take the power back into your own hands, do your own research, because no one's going to care more about your own health than you. And when you get curious about your health and you start leaning into what's possible for you, you could have a lot of fun with it and make this your work of art. You have the power to change your metabolic trajectory in life. And what that means is that you have the power to be as active in your life as you want, to get down on the floor and play with your grandkids, to go and hike in your retirement days, to go on vacation, to go whitewater rafting if you want to. But it's up to you for the life that you want to have, and we need to work towards getting that. So we need to talk about having having a personalized plan. You need to go into this thing with a plan. And there is a frustration with like a one size fits all type diet, so it's everyone is a little bit different. We're the same, but every one of us has a very unique biology. And so with a personalized plan, you can see how certain foods affect your blood sugar, how it affects your insulin sensitivity, how it affects the energy that you're getting. There's all kinds of new wearable technology that we can tie into as well. I mean, with the watches for your activity bands, for glucose monitors, scales now, blood pressure cuffs. There are different things that we can take a look at to find where your biometric data is and create personalized movement plans that to your liking. Like I'm a yoga instructor too, so I mean I do yoga every day. I walk every day, and I love lifting weights. So that's kind of like my trinity right there. Um, he's talking to me right now. Anyway, Siri kind of turned on while I was talking there. Technology, eh? But we can use it to our advantage in order to create something that's going to work for us long term. So now more than ever, there's a lot of information, and we're more heavily resourced than ever before to really create a plan that's going to work for you. And again, we can create that together. So what I provide for people is basically an outlet for your creativity and an outlet for your health as well. Creating a personalized plan just for you. And it's going to take some time to find the foods that are going to work for you, foods that you like to eat. And you don't have to worry about a diet because, again, there's no one size fits all diet that's best. Some people might enjoy a vegan diet for a little bit. Some people would like the keto, or if you want to do carnivore, it really doesn't matter. You can pick and choose and what nutrients you want based on what works for you. But it's part of it. And finding and working with someone that can really help you as far as like a qualified coach is going to save you time. It's going to save you money, and you're going to avoid a ton of frustration. It's like, okay, this is what I want to do. How do we get there? And we basically construct, a series of steps that will inevitably lead us there. Do you want to work in the emotional realm first? Do you want to work on your mental health and well-being first? Is it physical first? But again, I feel that all of this comes down with your metabolism, like how you're feeding yourself, because how you're feeding your body is where your mind is housed. And I really feel that the mind is your nervous system, and it's made up of cells. And those cells are made up of energy. And what kind of energy are you feeding it? How you saving that energy by the rest you're getting? So there's not just everything works in tandem, everything works together. So we definitely need to come up with a plan to hit all areas of life, to where when you're humming on all cylinders, you can really start zooming in on your purpose, So it's absolutely my passion. And I'm a nerd about this type of stuff. I want to find something that's practical for you and sustainable. And again, I'm into like helping people find those life changing health transformations. So let's go like just into some practical tips. If you want to get anything out of this and just take it here with you, a simple practice is number one is you want to create a vision for yourself. Like, what do you want? You need to hold a self-image in your head of who you are, what you look like. What is your ideal self-image doing? Is it helping people? Is it climbing mountains? Is it, or you have a V taper? Do you give more in your community? It doesn't matter. Like, get out a piece of paper, get out a whiteboard, and start writing out characteristics of what your ideal self is. Is it someone that's kind and caring and generous and strong, and funny? What does your ideal self like to do for fun? Does your ideal self like to be more in like a state of solitude? Do you want to have more friends? Start holding in your mind what a picture of health, of your ideal health and wellness is, your ideal self-image. And then you're going to find that these choices that you begin to take and make will match that self-image. And you need to own that right now. It's not like, I need to lose 20 pounds, and then at 20 pounds, I'm going to get enough courage to go ask that girl out or to go ask for a promotion. You need to do those things now and really embody that self-image now, and then the body will then follow. So when it comes down to the tips as far as just your health practices, number one is you really need to prioritize your protein. Your fiber is a very good one to get into, but overall nutrient density, because you need to, protein is going to help you build the muscles, going to build the connective tissues, and it's going to, and getting into the more proteins, moderate to high in fats, is going to keep your body satiated. These are high satiety meals to where you're not feeling you're going to be overeating. We can always get enough starch, but if you really start to prioritize protein, don't fear any fat, and then eating to a point to where you're eating slow enough to you're really paying attention to your body's needs. Okay, so those are the big things there too. Understand and balancing your carbohydrate intake. If we're taking in an abundance of carbohydrates, a lot of times that could be stored, so is as fat. So when you're taking in carbohydrate intake, just know that's going to be saving your muscle that you'll be putting on, because you're going to be burning that for energy. But just stay mindful of that. Do you need to eat a whole loaf of bread or just some couple pieces of fruit? Are you eating like artificial sweeteners, or are you going to have like a natural sweetener, like honey, or sugar from fruit? Those things too. Keeping it as natural as possible. So if you look on the ingredients on the food, the ingredients are the food itself. The importance of muscle mass, strength training. You need to be getting into the gym or outside of the gym, or like swinging a hammer or picking up something that's heavy and moving it around. Resistance training is absolutely essential, especially as we age, because having more muscle mass directly correlates for you living a longer life. It's got to protect you more. You can get up off the ground if you fall down. You're able to pick yourself back up. I mean, get yourself out of particular situations to where you might be in a precarious position if you have more muscle mass. Your ability to handle more calories, your ability to move your joints without pain. Movement is absolutely medicine. So prioritizing a strength training routine of some sort. You don't have to be in the gym. You can even get into calisthenics, some type of resistance training. A flexibility routine is very helpful too. What makes yoga for me so wonderful is that it is a flexibility practice. It can be a strength practice, and more than anything, it's a mindfulness practice too. Breathing and all those things are included. So it's really, for me, it's an all-in-one type of practice. It's really the foundation of getting in union with yourself. And we have the reunion hub right here, to where you understand your nature. You invite in life, you observe its effects, and then you nurture the hell out of it as if it is your art form, because it is. And I think the biggest thing here too is just the mindfulness around your eating, slowing down, listening to your body. I was at a point where I would just keep shoveling in food and really not paying attention. It wasn't until I started taking a bite of food and then setting my fork down in between bites, chewing it, noticing it, swallowing it, and sitting with the discomfort of not shoveling it as fast as possible, that stuff began to really change for me. I got fuller faster. I was able to digest my food a lot better. So my life really changed when I slowed my eating down, staying mindful of my meals. So if you're interested in wanting to get these results and want to know, like, okay, I'm ready. I'm tired of waiting around. How do we get started? So the thing you do is to go to my website here. And then what we can do is just schedule a call to where you and I can just talk. We put together a personalized plan for you. And it's no cost to you. I want to know your pain points. I want to do a little bit of research here with you too. Okay. Because I want to know what you want. I want to know what's bugging you. What's the challenges? What's working for you right now? And what do you want to do? Okay. So if you offer me that opportunity, I'm going to come through for you and give you time. And I want to really find out. And this is for serious individuals, of course. people that are serious about making that change for themselves and for their loved ones. And again, getting back to yourself, to your innate wisdom, having a reunion with yourself. Okay. Your inner wisdom, it's in there. And that's what's so interesting is like, it's not outside of you. It's not in some podcast. It's not even in this show, but I'm just wanting to remind you is that somewhere in there or in here is your innate wisdom to heal, to grow. You have an inner knowing. And that's really what's so freaking cool about this, man, is that we're all born with this inner knowing, but we just kind of lose our way. And that's natural. So again, the core message here on this show is that your metabolism connects you to your physical health, your mental well-being, your emotional flexibility, and your ability to handle relationships. It's all related, all of it. So come on back here to the show. We're gonna dive into more insights on metabolic health, as we continue. I'll have more guests on, and we'll continue going with that. But just again, reconnecting with yourself is the key to living fully in the second half of your life. No more BS. No more living on other people's terms. Get back to you. What's best for you is a whole lot of you. Getting back in touch with yourself is absolutely crucial to live a life of purpose and to be fulfilled. But I just want you to know that I appreciate you. Thanks for listening. For those that hung out and looked around for a little bit, I appreciate you. I look forward to catching up with you real soon. All right. Take care.